Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today what we're going to be talking about is federal regulators could be rethinking the contractor status of Uber and Lyft drivers and other gig workers. So this has been something that's been going on for a long time, but it seems like the time for this discussion is starting to close in. It is impressive to me that this is still going on and we're still under attack from the federal government. Is the only way I could properly talk about this. A lot of people claim that we are misclassified. And you know what? Some people do want that employee status, and in which case you can find another opportunity. I'm sorry, but a lot of us prefer the freedom and flexibility that this gives us, so that way we can continue to pursue alternative goals. Without further ado, I want to talk to you guys about what's going on here, what advances the federal regulators are making, and how the companies are responding. Also, I want to talk to you guys about what we should be doing as gig workers. So without further ado, let's have a look. The National Labor Relations Board, the federal agency that oversees private sector labor practices, looks to be taking the first steps towards reconsidering how independent contractors are classified, in a move that could reignite the debate about rights of workers at the gig economy, employers including Uber, Lyft, and Doordash. So while I don't necessarily disagree for how we're being treated by the companies themselves, it doesn't mean we want to give up the ability to be free and work on our own schedule. I will say, for one, that DoorDash specifically has probably the worst integrity and character in any of these gig apps, and Uber's not too far behind, but either way, DoorDash is among the worst and the most sociopathic among all of them. But that does not mean we're really going to want this for ourselves. Like, we don't want to be employees. The reason we got into this was for the freedom. Like, I wouldn't be able to accept an order, stop what I'm doing, accept the order, make money while working on something that is currently not making me money right now. I want to be clear, YouTube is not making me money right now. I wouldn't be able to have this opportunity, build up this brand, if it wasn't for Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash and all these other companies. I think it's just wrong that this is still a problem. In a notice issued Monday, the NLRB called for companies, unions, and other interested parties to weigh in on whether a Trump administration standard for determining the independent contractor status of workers should be overturned. The public has until February 10th to submit amicus briefs arguing their positions. I do want to be clear before I say what I gotta say. This is not a political channel. This is strictly the facts and opinions of how gig workers actually want things to go. As far as the company is concerned, I couldn't give two craps about them. They could jump off a building, especially Tony Hsieh. They could jump off a building. Not the point. The point is, like, I feel like a lot of people would see Trump administration. Suddenly they are totally against anything they say. This is not a political thing. This is an issue that is going to affect us as gig workers. If gig workers end up going from independent contractors to employees, I guarantee you that's what's going to destroy the companies. It's not going to be because they haven't shown a profit yet. It's not going to be because the FTC's been on their butt, and they have been. It's going to be because the main system of operations that these companies have depended on are going from really good to really bad. And that is by taking away the independent contractor position. While the NLRB didn't announce its motives, labor experts and journalists who cover the agency saw Monday's announcement as a significant step towards making it easier for workers to gain full-fledged employee status, which none of us want to begin with. This is an imposition that none of us really wanted. For those of you that do, great, this isn't the opportunity for you. I just want to be very clear. Being an independent contractor is not for everybody. Being a food delivery driver is not for everybody. I understand that. For those of you that this is for, welcome to the channel. I am happy to work with you. But that being said, for those of you this isn't for, get a job. We're in one of the biggest labor shortages in history. Because of this labor shortage is probably why this is happening to begin with. Because you want to know what happens when you're an employee? You have to answer to a boss. You are set to a schedule they set for you, not the schedule you have set. Monday's notice is part of an ongoing case involving a union push by makeup artists and hairstylists for the Atlantic Opera. The agency is seeking public comment in a move that could potentially establish a new standard and overturn a 2019 decision that made it easier for companies to classify workers as independent contractors. So this isn't even about us at all. Like, why exactly are you pitting us with hairstylists and makeup artists? I understand that being a makeup artist and hairstylist does take a particular set of skills, and having the benefits and whatever you get as an employee is very enticing to some people. But you're talking about hairstylists. That has less than nothing to do with Doordash. No offense. It has nothing to do with Instacart, Lyft, Uber. Why is this suddenly an issue? Again. Like, why are we reigniting this conversation? In fact, we should have thrown this conversation out a long time ago. The 2019 ruling established that worker status should be evaluated through the prism of entrepreneurial opportunity. The NLRB ruled that drivers for airport shuttle service Super Shuttle were independent contractors because they supplied their own vans, controlled their work schedule, and kept the fares they collected. That's exactly what independent contractors should be. Okay, so the hairstylists want it other ways. Fine, you can take your opportunity any way you like. We like the fact that we have the freedom. The prism of entrepreneurial opportunity. Do you know how many gig workers are building their own businesses? They're using this income from Doordash, Lyft, Uber, Instacart, whatever, to have a source of income to build a business. Mine, for one, and 50% of gig workers. And not to mention how many people are using this while they go to college and get an education because they don't want to go to a waiter or waitress job and answer to a boss who is probably going to make it hard for them to study for the most part. Like, do you know how many times I've heard college students just go, hey, this gives me the ability to set my own schedule and not have to fight with my boss. It's ridiculous how we have to fight this. And I get it. We shouldn't have to fight the companies either. And they've been getting away with stuff that they shouldn't have been getting away with to begin with. But that doesn't mean like just tossing the whole system. That means let's look at the problem and make the system better. It's not broken, it's just incomplete. By classifying a worker as an independent contractor, as is the case with many gig economy positions, companies can avoid paying benefits and effectively prevent workers from unionizing. Okay, but a lot of people are giving up those benefits anyway. There's not a great resignation because there are so many people that care so much about their benefits. One of the things that the Great Resignation revealed is that people are willing to give up their benefits just for the ability to work from home. It's not because they care so much about their benefits that they would want them. No, they're ready to give them up, man. And preventing workers from unionizing? There's already such a divide with gig workers anyway, between gig workers, customers, merchants, and the companies themselves. Like, there's already such a huge divide between all of us. The app-based work alliance, which includes Doordash, Instacart, Lyft, and Uber among its members, said in a statement Tuesday that policymakers need to listen to what workers want and shape policies accordingly. Amen. Amen. That's all I got to say about that. Like, if you care a lot about the workers, then actually pay attention to what they're saying. I don't think they care about workers, though. They care about control. And that's kind of always how it's been. App-based work is fundamentally different from traditional employee-based work, which is why people turn to it in the first place, the alliance said. One thing that we consistently and overwhelmingly hear from workers is that they want to maintain their independence while also having access to benefits and protections. Having access to benefits and protections, we should be opting for that ourselves. Make it available for us. Show us how to actually get those benefits. Sometimes I don't even want the companies themselves to run this stuff. I'll be honest with you, if DoorDash had their own car insurance, I don't trust it. Like, set up an affiliate or hey, we're going to be using this company to set up insurance policies with, and you would just have to pay for it yourself. I think a lot of us would be totally fine with that. You would be surprised how many people are totally fine with that. The NLRB calls for briefs on the topic of independent contractor status comes after NLRB General Counsel Jennifer Abruzzo has signaled the agency may be up for reviewing the standards, specifically saying the Super Shuttle ruling warrants further scrutiny. The unfortunate truth of being an independent contractor as a whole is it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It seems like they will attack everybody at once, not just this one particular company. So one company screws it up and then all dominoes start falling. There are plenty of workers in the gig economy that I think are misclassified as independent contractors. Abruzzo told Bloomberg earlier this month. This entire article just gives me all kinds of stress. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. Independent contractors want to stay independent contractors. And if you think you're going to get a better treatment as an employee, you're wrong. Why do I feel so strongly on that concept? Because I'll tell you what, when I was an employee, I was treated like absolute garbage. I worked when I was told. My boss always treated me like garbage. I worked 3 times harder than they did, and they got all the praise and reward. They don't treat you the way you should be treated. With the gig economy, I feel like a lot of our fighting is an uphill battle. Sometimes the companies just prove over and over again that they don't have the integrity and character. But I'll tell you what, on a day-to-day basis, I find that I'm happier as a gig worker than I have ever been as an employee. And yeah, sometimes that means I'm working longer days, but that's my choice. I want to work longer days. Should we be paid better? Yes. Should we have access to benefits? Yes, but we should have the choice to take them or leave them. Should we have access to better treatment from the business's standards overall? Yeah, but again, that's up to the companies to actually get integrity-based work. Doordash, Uber, Lyft, if you have a problem with the way they're treating you, that's fine. I agree with a lot of the things that people say about how gig workers are treated, but I feel like you get less done in a company as an employee than you do as an independent contractor. Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of HR departments that need to be looked at from a perspective of, hey, are they actually doing their job as an HR department, or are they just being a jerk? A lot of ladies ended up leaving jobs for food delivery because they're treated better in the gig economy than they've ever been treated in a normal office. The National Labor Relations Board, their goal is to just have more workers. With the Great Resignation and all these people preferring gig work, this is their attempt to attack the gig economy. I don't think their goal is for our happiness, it's for the company's happiness, because if gig work goes down, then we go back to normal jobs. So what do I think as far as what we should do as gig workers? First of all, if you're not diversifying already, what are you doing? If you're not working on a business or another opportunity outside of the gig economy, and that includes Doordash, UberEats, GrubHub, I'm talking any of the gig apps altogether. If you're not working on a business or some sort of external plan, and maybe that is just a part-time job and you're just saving money for retirement at this point. There are some people who are just looking for extra money at this point. That's fine, but that's not what a lot of us gig workers are doing. A lot of us are full-time workers who are either paying the bills or they're working towards a business opportunity themselves, and they're going from full-time to part-time to out. That's what I'm doing with this. And if you don't know what to do, like as far as a side hustle yet, outside of DoorDash and all these gig companies, just start with something. I started with a bunch of different opportunities before I chose YouTube, and some of them are still online today, but not the point. The point is, once I found what I liked, I decided to stick with it and run with it. And I think that all gig workers should do that as well. I think it's irresponsible to leave your fate in the hands of a legal group, it seems like, who is out to get this industry. And not to mention the companies themselves aren't exactly integrity-based people. Diversify your income, make as many moves as you can, and protect your financial safety. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.